I'm Marilee Caruso. It's Thursday, September 18th. Today.
It's not fair to be ill and not be able to get the help that you need when you need it.
Why thousands of Manitoba patients are leaving hospitals before they're even looked at by a doctor. Also today, sadness in Happy Land.
We're heartbroken, saddened. A lot of people have been phoning. They've actually been crying.
Community members protest as a demolition crew rips through a local pool. Plus, calling for change.
They were just out buying a gift for someone, and now they're not coming home.
Why cycling advocates say more needs to be done to keep pedestrians and cyclists safe. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. Thousands of Manitoba patients are leaving emergency departments before they're even seen by a doctor. The reason they're walking out? They're waiting too long. A new national report shows the number of patients giving up in hospital waiting rooms is now well above the national average. That story tonight from CTV's Jeff Kiel.
A couple of weeks ago, Mona Turcotte's relative was feeling faint, so she came to the emergency room at Health Sciences Centre.
And then she was put in the waiting room, and she was waiting and waiting until she was not feeling well anymore.
The wait was too much for her family member. She gave up and went home without seeing someone.
It's not fair to be ill and not be able to get the help that you need when you need it.
It appears she isn't alone. The Montreal Economic Institute, a public policy think tank, says it gathered records from provinces and health authorities and found in 2024 there were 456,000 patient visits to Manitoba ERs. Of those, more than 60,000 walked away without receiving treatment, or 13.2%, higher than the national average of 7.8%.
The situation is worse in Manitoba than the national average.
The Institute says this is an issue across the country. The demand for health care is growing because of a growing and aging population.
A larger proportion of the population needs health care, as well as struggles, increasing struggles to get access to care, primary care being one of them, and also the shortage of healthcare workers.
The research did show the majority of those leaving the ER are considered semi or non-urgent cases, but patients often return to the ER because the symptoms get worse when left untreated. That's what happened to Mona Turcotte's relative. She's been admitted to HSC after coming this time by ambulance.
Now she's in because she was passing out at home.
Jeff Kiel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Just minutes ago, Shared Health sent CTV News a response. In part, they say the challenges facing ERs have built up over years and can't be solved overnight, adding a lower wait time team is laying the groundwork for lasting change. As patients grow tired of long wait times, a record-setting 164 more physicians are practicing in Manitoba as of this spring than there was a year earlier. That's according to the College of Physicians and Surgeons of Manitoba, which released its annual report today. According to Doctors Manitoba, that net gain eclipses last year's record by about 30. However, it's raising concerns about the number of physicians increasingly being recruited from outside Manitoba, with grads from within the province making up less than a quarter of the new physicians. The data for the report was compiled at the end of April. Drivers should start to notice gas prices beginning to fall now and in the coming weeks as stations switch over to the winter blend.
The provincial average right now in Manitoba, about 131.6. That's down 4.5 cents a liter from last week. I do think that we could get down into the teens.
That's petroleum analyst Patrick DeHaan with Gas Buddy, who says the price is somewhat dependent on the exchange rate with the American dollar. But he says prices should drop by about 10 cents a liter in the coming weeks and possibly as much as 25 cents by Christmas. This is due to the switch to winter fuel and lower demand as Manitobans tend to drive less when it's cold.
Worth mentioning that while gasoline prices, we expect relief, maybe a little bit of the opposite for diesel. Keep in mind, diesel and heating oil are essentially the same product. So unlike gasoline, which sees peak demand in the summer and lower demand in the winter, for diesel and heating oil, it's somewhat of the opposite. Not only heating oil will start to see more consumption, but as farmers get out to harvest their crops, we see a big jump in diesel consumption as well.
Experts say gasoline prices are generally lower until about mid-April, when the summer gas blend is reintroduced to the pumps. Bike Winnipeg is calling for change after the deaths of 2 people on Kenniston Boulevard last weekend. It happened on the shoulder of Kenniston and Enterprise Drive. Police say a 31-year-old man and a 25-year-old woman were hit by a vehicle being driven by an alleged impaired driver. Bike Winnipeg's Mark Coho says cyclists using nearby bike and multi-use paths are forced onto the shoulder of the busy roadway where the speed limit is 80 kilometers an hour.
We've definitely have, like you said, improved in the past, but the level of funding we have just isn't building that network that creates those layers of safety, that protects us, that separates people from whether they're walking or biking or rolling away from those vehicles.
CTV News has reached out to the city for comment and is awaiting a response. A vigil for the 2 victims is planned for tonight. RCMP nabbed a driver with a lead foot on Sunday. Mounties patrolling the Trans-Canada Highway near Dufresne pulled over a speeding vehicle. The car was clocked at 182 kilometers an hour. The speed limit is only 100, so officers handed the driver a ticket. The fine, $1,123. Well, the next time officers with the Manitoba First Nations Police Service pull someone over, they could be wearing body cameras.
The goal is transparency, safety, and accountability for both public and our officers.
It's the first time the police service is using body-worn cameras. The force says the devices provide accurate and objective records of interactions between officers and community members. Officers are now getting trained on how to use the devices responsibly and effectively, along with cultural respect. The move will begin with officers in Opaskwayak Cree Nation. The cameras will then be rolled out in other First Nations over the next few months. Winnipeg's mayor says some of the federal government's NATO spending should come right here to our city. Scott Gillingham says Winnipeg already hosts some critical military infrastructure, such as 17 Wing and 2 Royal Canadian Air Force headquarters. He believes there's an opportunity to select Winnipeg as a hub for expanded federal defense operations. And as part of that expansion, he suggests Ottawa help finance key infrastructure projects such as Route 90 and the North End Water Pollution Control Centre. 13 people are charged after Winnipeg police dismantled a pair of drug trafficking rings. One investigation, which police called Project Callus, ran between May and October of last year. Officers targeted a group of mobile drug traffickers selling drugs at street level, including a mix of heroin and methamphetamine, known as Cheetah. Police searched 3 homes in Winnipeg and 1 in West St. Paul. About $60,000 worth of heroin and methamphetamine was found. 7 people were arrested and charged with multiple drug trafficking-related offenses. Project Black Dragon started in June and, according to police, involved a new group of people who took over the previous operation. Police searched 2 Winnipeg homes and several vehicles and found more than 800 grams of Cheetah with an estimated street value of $168,000. 6 people were charged with multiple drug trafficking offenses. Well, we're learning more tonight about the federal government's plan to build thousands of new homes across the country. Here in Winnipeg, Ottawa has selected Naweo Dana as a site for our share of the project. A spokesperson for Housing, Infrastructure and Communities Canada says it's prioritized a portion of the site for factory-built housing. The federal government plans to spend $13 billion to speed up affordable home building. The new agency will prioritize the use of factory-built modular homes, which Ottawa believes will accelerate delivery, reduce costs, and improve sustainability. More details about next steps are expected in the coming weeks. The number of new people receiving employment insurance benefits in Manitoba is outpacing the rest of the country. Statistics Canada reports the number of Manitobans on EI rose 3.8% in July. That's the 4th consecutive month that number has gone up and is well ahead of the national average. It's also 8.5% higher than a year earlier. Countrywide, the number of beneficiaries increased the most among people employed in education, law, and community or government services. All right, let's bring in Colleen Brady now and get a first look at your Skywatch evening forecast. What are you tracking for us tonight, Colleen?
Well, get your umbrella. Let me try that again. Get your umbrella ready. If only I could say one word at a time, Marilee, that would be great. Get your umbrella ready, because this behind me, this low pressure system to the south of us over South Dakota is gradually starting to make its way north, but it's already throwing out rain all across North Dakota and now just over the border into southern Manitoba. And it will continue to spread. I'll show you when it will move into Winnipeg and further into southern Manitoba and how long that's going to last. Let's take a look right now, though, first through the Bath Fitter Live Eye. Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. In Winnipeg right now, it's cloudy. It's 18 degrees. Winds 13 kilometers an hour from the east-northeast. The pressure is dropping and the humidity is 68%. Out in traffic, a live look at Notre Dame Avenue. Traffic moving well there, as it is throughout the rest of the city. No traffic tie-ups to pass along to you right now.
It's very heartbreaking, very disturbing, very no words really.
Community members show up to protest as a local pool is demolished. More local news just ahead.
Your morning just got a little brighter. Start your day with CTV Your Morning, and you could win $20,000. For your chance to win, watch CTV Your Morning Winnipeg, weekday mornings 6 to 9.
NVIDIA announced today that it is investing $5 billion U.S. in Intel. The leading chip maker will buy shares of Intel, saying the two companies will partner to make custom data centers. This is seen as a lifeline for Intel, which has fallen behind other tech companies over the years. Intel shares jumped 25% on the news. Here's a look at how the trading day ended. The Canadian dollar is down to 72.48. West Texas Intermediate is down to 63.26. Western Canadian Select down 50 cents to 52.01. And the TSX is up 131 points for another record close today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Market Watch is brought to you by Manitoba Blue Cross. Group health plans for any size business.
Some sadness tonight in Happy Land after crews began demolishing a community pool.
We're heartbroken, saddened. A lot of people have been phoning. They've actually been crying.
A backhoe began tearing down the structure at Happy Land Pool in St. Boniface today. The city of Winnipeg closed the pool back in 2023 because of low attendance and costly repairs required. A community effort raised more than $70,000 to keep the pool open, but the city said the cash fell well short of what was needed. Protesters gathered today at the demolition site, saying the community is losing a valuable asset.
This is a perfectly good pool. There was nothing wrong with it. We offered to pay for the operating costs and the city turned it down. So they're wasting our taxpayers' money by demolishing the pool and spending probably a couple of $100,000 to demolish it on top of not keeping the pool.
The city is shifting away from maintaining smaller community pools to build larger regional aquatic facilities. There's a new local book coming out soon to help guide and encourage educators to incorporate Indigenous practices into their classrooms. It's called Renewal: Indigenous Perspectives on Land-Based Education in and Outside the Classroom. It's meant for educators who teach from kindergarten to grade 12. The book offers Indigenous perspectives on land and water, offering concrete ways to bring land-based topics into the classroom, including exploring the natural environment.
Traditional medicines, safety lessons, like there's a lot of knowledge in our communities about land-based education, and I don't think it's reached the typical classroom yet.
The book is available in stores September 23rd with an official book launch at McNally Robinson on October 30th.
Community Connection is brought to you by Mr. Reuter Plumbing. Born to be a hero, trained to be a plumber.
They said a horrible thing about a great gentleman known as Charlie Kirk.
Late night TV has lost another comedian. What Jimmy Kimmel said that got him pulled from the airwaves.
Spotlight, sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg, presenting Gord Bamford.
It is the entertainment news that everyone is talking about. Late night talk show host Jimmy Kimmel has been pulled off the air indefinitely. And today there is widespread outrage against the ABC network. And it doesn't end there. Donald Trump is calling for other talk show hosts to be fired. Melanie Zanona has more from Washington.
Our very special guest tonight.
Late night TV has lost another comedian. Disney ABC indefinitely suspending Jimmy Kimmel last night after the host's comments on Monday about the man accused of killing conservative activist Charlie Kirk.
The MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
Those words angering conservative critics. Today in London, President Trump praising the move.
He said a horrible thing about a great gentleman known as Charlie Kirk, and Jimmy Kimmel is not a talented person. He had very bad ratings, and they should have fired him a long time ago.
Federal Communication Commission Chairman Brendan Carr criticized Kimmel's comments and suggested on a conservative podcast that there was a strong case for action against Disney and ABC. Hours later, Nexstar, the largest owner of local stations, declared none of its markets would run The Kimmel Show. Carr says local stations have the right to preempt programming it doesn't like.
Again, we're in the midst of a massive shift in dynamics in the media ecosystem for lots of reasons, again, including the permission structure that President Trump's election has provided.
Nexstar is in the midst of a $1 billion acquisition with another media company that needs FCC approval. President Trump nominated Carr to chair the agency that oversees licenses for broadcast stations. The FCC does not supervise cable networks or the internet. Fellow comedians took to Kimmel's defense on social media. And critics say removing him for his words violates the First Amendment.
Having the government sanction what we say, to censor what we say, to control what we say is a very dangerous precedent. This is a 5-alarm fire.
We must be careful not to allow the government to punish critics simply because of content.
And 2 months ago, CBS canceled Stephen Colbert's late night show. Colbert was another critic of President Donald Trump's, and that move also came in the middle of another $1 billion broadcast deal that required FCC approval. Melanie Zanona, NBC News, Washington.
And your primetime lineup kicks off at 6 with NFL football. The Miami Dolphins visit Buffalo to take on the Bills. And at 10, catch back-to-back episodes of Children Ruin Everything. It's all right here tonight on CTV. A live look out in front of Polo Park, east and westbound. Portage Avenue, traffic moving well there. No stalls or crashes to pass along. Right now in the city, it's cloudy and 18 degrees.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
Colleen Brady back now with an update on a bit of a rainy forecast heading into the weekend.
What I was trying to say earlier, Marilee, of course, was grab your umbrella, folks. You'll be glad you did, because there is rain heading southern Manitoba's way. It's already starting to move into the province. Now, this is all courtesy of an upper low that's spinning around the Dakotas right now. And you can see by the way it's circulating that that low is really just sort of straddling the two Dakotas, sending rain across both states. And even further north, the most northern bands have now made their way into southern Manitoba. I'll zoom in one more to Winnipeg. We could see a little bit of a shower activity here yet, but it looks like it's going to be an on-again, off-again scenario over the next couple of days. Meanwhile, central and northern parts of the province clear as we head into this evening. That's not really going to change, although overnight, watch out for fog across the north. Meanwhile, we're contending with this rain as it continues to spread into the most southern parts of the province, but it will continue to spread across the south over the coming hours and into Friday morning. And you can see it's pretty substantial in some areas where that green gets particularly dark. You can see pockets right in the southeast corner and further out to the southwest where it may fall a little heavier, and that will continue throughout the day. Now, showers in the morning in Winnipeg will turn to rain in the afternoon. That rain will keep on coming down here in the southeast as we head into Saturday. And again, we'll see a little bit more rain to start off the weekend here, but you saw much of the north will be on the sunny side to start off your weekend. 14 is our overnight low tonight with the possibility of those showers. Maybe a little bit will graze the city. Light winds out of the northeast at 10 10 kilometers an hour. East winds tomorrow, though they will be light. Showers turning to more of an outright rainfall as we get into tomorrow afternoon. A high of 17 degrees. And the UV index for tomorrow, which is Friday, by the way, is 4 or moderate. Then we head into the long-range forecast, starting with a soggy Saturday, rain and showers continuing. A high of 18 degrees, right around a normal temperature for this time of year. Sunday is the last full day of summer, and it will be a nice day. Mix of sun and cloud up to 21 degrees. Bright and sunny on Monday, the first full day of fall. The autumnal equinox happens early in the afternoon here in Manitoba. 24 degrees is our high, very lovely. Tuesday, Wednesday, very nice too. Lots of sunshine with nice highs right around 24 degrees. And you see throughout that forecast period, overnight lows between 12 and 14 degrees. Let's take a look at some weather photos. This one takes us up to beautiful Gull Harbor up at Hecla there. That nice shot is from Arlene. And this is Whiskers. You'll see next. There's Whiskers enjoying the lovely weather out at Hazel Ridge, Manitoba. That photo is from Michael. Email us yours to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Thanks, Colleen. Well, as the temperatures get cooler, a local charity that helps keep kids warm needs your help. Coats for Kids collects new and gently used winter clothing for families in need. The program, run by the United Way, distributes about 6,000 coats every year, but it's not just coats it needs.
We are looking for coats of all sizes, so all the way up to adult sizes. We're always in need of boots, so we're always very low in stock on boots, all sizes, hats, mitts and scarves, ski pants. All of those really warm items are always what we're needing for donations.
You can order warm winter clothing for your family through United Way agencies, schools, and daycares. And you can drop off donations at any Access storage location, Winnipeg Fire Paramedic Station, Toys R Us, or YMCA facility all across Winnipeg. Visit unitedwaywinnipeg.ca for more information. Now's the perfect time to kind of clear out the old stuff and donate it.
And don't let those 24-degree temperatures next week.
You mean they're not going to last forever?
They're not going to last into the winter. That I can tell you. 100% is my forecast there.
All right, we are preempted tonight. Football will be on during our regular 6 o'clock newscast time, but join us online on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca. We will be there live with more local news. Hope to see you then.